So it's that time of year. Winter weather is setting in everywhere. Hell, where I'm at in Colorado, it's been snowing for days. And I brought along one of my good buddies, Matt, over at the channel Gent, who's been long overdue to do a collaboration on my channel with me. So glad to have him. Today we're going to bring you 5 from each of us. 5 of my favorite fragrances and 5 of his that we believe are the only 10 you need this winter. So stay tuned.
What's up, you guys? So my name is Matt. I go by Gent here on YouTube. I'd like to say thank you, Ross, for having me onto your channel. Now, Ross invited me to be part of this collaboration, share with you guys 5 of my favorite winter fragrances. So again, Ross, I want to say thank you for inviting me onto your channel. But on that note, let's get into it.
So before we get going, if you could all do me a very quick favor, I'll actually put it right here. If you could go jump over and subscribe to Matt's channel. He's got plenty of great content. He's a fragrance channel first that brings a lot of men's products, style, and fitness. Has a little something for everybody. Just want to make sure you check them out and give them a subscribe before you leave this video today. Let's jump into these fragrances.
All right, guys. So the first fragrance I have to share with you guys is going to be something that Ross specializes in. It's going to be a fragrance that costs less than something it smells similar to, that's much more expensive. The first fragrance I have to share with you guys is going to be Insomnia by Insomnia Perfumes. It's very similar to Black Phantom by Kilian. It has the same sweet notes, the same sweet nuances like rum, chocolate, caramel. But in addition to the similarities to this fragrance, there are certain sweet notes, certain sweet florals that are in this fragrance that make it a bit more enjoyable for me. But not only is the scent appealing to me with this fragrance, also the price point of this. Where Black Phantom typically runs about $300, this can be found for about $100. And Insomnia is a very, very solid alternative to Black Phantom. And guys, my number 5 pick again was Insomnia by Insomnia Perfumes.
So with the first of my 5, I'm actually going to go with a more budget-friendly fragrance as well. I actually really like to recommend this one as the best way to dip your toe into tobacco fragrances if you've never tried a tobacco fragrance before. Definitely better for the younger guy as well, and you can get them very, very cheap online and at the rack stores. It's from Calvin Klein, CK1 Shock. This is a beautiful, sweet tobacco. It's a decent performer. I love the way this one smells. I've been through a bottle in the past. This is my second bottle that's about midway through. And 20 bucks will get you a 100 milliliter bottle like this. 30 bucks will get you a 200 milliliter bottle at the rack stores and online. Don't necessarily think you need a big 200 milliliter bottle, but hey, if you love the fragrance, why not? It's a fantastic bargain from discounters for sure. And like I said, in my opinion, it's the best way to start off checking out some tobacco fragrances. It's very safe. It's very mass appealing for what it is. Great in the colder weather, fantastic in the winter. This can be a daily driver for you to wear every day, no matter what the situation, casually, to work, evenings. 20 bucks can go a long way when it comes to CK1 Shock. One of the best ways to start off with tobacco fragrances. And
my 4th pick is going to be the sweet fragrance on this list. What you're going to get with this fragrance is going to be your green mandarin, your apple, wrapped up in orange blossom, taco bean, and vanilla. So it's going to come across a bit sweet. Now that sweetness pretty much lasts for the majority of the wear. The sweetness in the opening kind of dials back from the apple and from the mandarin. But this fragrance has a beautiful sillage that's going to be very intoxicating to people that are around you. Guys, that fragrance is going to be Armani Code Absolute. Now, forewarning, this fragrance can be a bit cloying in the opening, but if you can get past that sweet nuances that are just a bit much for some people, it's a very, very great fragrance. Again, you guys, that is Armani Code Absolute.
For my next pick, this has made every winter list I've made. It was in my must-have list for 2020, and it was in my designer list for 2019. It's a quintessential winter fragrance in my opinion. If you love Iris, it's Prada L'Homme Intense. This is a must-have if you're asking me, which if you're looking at this video, you're asking me. And man, I sure do love Iris, and the way this one's done, it's that traditionally soapy floral Iris, the way Prada does it, because everything's soapy with them when it comes to Iris, I find, mixed with a beautiful patchouli note and leather. It really changes the Prada L'Homme DNA, because Prada L'Homme is one of my favorite fragrances. Hell, it makes me smile every time I smell it. This one kind of twists it, makes it a little bit more friendly for the cooler weather. Not that the original doesn't work in the winter, but in my opinion, this is geared more for the winter with that leather and patchouli backbone added to that beautiful Iris DNA that Prada L'Homme already has. Great performer, fantastic scent. It's very hard to beat one of the few fragrances I would say is all you really need this winter. Prada Homme, Intense.
Now, number 3 on this list is going to be my boozy fragrance pick for the winter. It's very loud, it's sweet, it's masculine. It's not something for the faint of heart. It's very strong in the rum, the leather, and incense. With those 3, what you're going to get is going to be Bentley for Men Intense. It's very sweet, it's very loud, it projects, it lasts. This is one of the fragrances that I pick up when I want to just smell something that smells nice without really wearing something. This is what I reach for. It's very delightful off the atomizer. But when you put it on, just know it's going to last you the entire day. And again, guys, that is Bentley for Men Intense.
You know, I can't recommend some fragrances to you for the winter without recommending my favorite coffee fragrance. I actually just recently did a video on this one with Mr. Miami Cuddles. I'll actually put that video right there if you want to check that out. This is from Happy Land Studio, one of my favorites. Homme for the holidays. This is a beautiful pot of coffee while you're eating some maple syrup covered waffles. That's how I describe it every time I talk about it. It is a beast mode performer. It's extremely loud and long lasting. It makes you think of the holidays. It's one of the most clever and creative play on words with the Santa hat on top of the Happy Land logo. It's a cool label, it's a great name, and it's a beautifully done scent. Like I said, think coffee and maple syrup covered waffles. Gorgeous fragrance, perfect for this time of year, and one that I recommend everybody should try. Love smelling this one, and I'm pretty confident you will too, because in my opinion, if you're looking for a great coffee fragrance this winter, look no further than Homme for the holidays.
And guys, my number 4 pick is another fragrance that can be found for about $100. It's going to be one that is very strong in tobacco, very strong in incense, very strong in the darker nuances. Along with darker nuances come a very powerful tobacco fragrance. My number 4 pick is going to be the very long-lasting red tobacco. Now, red tobacco is going to be one of, if not the strongest tobacco fragrance in my collection. The trace behind this fragrance is why it's in my top 5 for winter fragrances. It's so strong, it's so loud. This is a fragrance that you can wear that will push through any amount of cold that's in front of you. Now, here in South Georgia, there are very few amount of days where I need a fragrance that pushes through that amount of cold. But Ross, where you live, I suspect this is going to be a great fragrance for you. Now, it's still good here where I live in South Georgia, but it is very, very strong. Again, you guys, that is Miss Sarah's red tobacco.
For my next pick, this is another one that it's kind of a no-brainer. It's a must-have for the winter. It's actually been featured in my must-have winter fragrances video because it's just that good. This fragrance screams winter. Viktor & Rolf, Spicebomb Extreme. You've seen a lot of people talk about it. You've seen me talk about it often for really good reason. One of the best spicy designer fragrances on the market, if not the best. It's got a beautiful sweet vanilla added to that gorgeous Spicebomb DNA. It's a monster performer, long lasting, very loud, very strong projection, strong compliment factor. Your lady's gonna like the way you smell with this one on. You're not gonna be able to stop smelling yourself. Guys, when I say this is one of the best winter fragrances money can buy, it's no joke. It's all you really need. If you have a fragrance like Spicebomb Extreme, you might not need anything else this winter.
Now, lastly on this list is going to be my number 1 pick for a winter fragrance. It's going to be a sweet tobacco fragrance. It's going to have its tobacco, it's going to have its tonka bean, it's going to have its wonderful lavender that creates a beautiful sillage. It's going to have people around you asking what you're wearing. It is just hands down one of my most enjoyable fragrances that I have in my collection. Now, since Ross said that there's no price limit on this video, I wanted to go with Zaharoff Naxos. Like I said, guys, this is my number 1 pick out of every winter fragrance that I have. This is my hands down most expensive smart reach in my collection. I can wear it anytime. It costs a bit of money, so I don't want to wear it too heavily all the time, but it's one that I can throw on easily and kind of just go about my day. And when you wear it, you know that you're going to be the best smelling person in the room. It's a sweet tobacco that's not overly sweet. It's also masculine, but not over masculine. It's one that I find right in the middle of being, too masculine or too sweet. But for me, it's been perfect for pretty much any occasion. Again, you guys, that is Zaharoff Naxos.
You know what, Matt? When we talked about this video idea, I did say, don't put a price limit on it. We're not gearing towards cheapies. We're not looking at designers. We're not looking at niche. I wanted to bring everybody the 10 fragrances between the two of us that we believe are all you need for the winter. So yeah, Naxos, fantastic idea. My pick for the most expensive fragrance out of my 5, definitely Creation E from Raja Parfums. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous tobacco fragrance. Has a cherry Coke float, Dr. Pepper float kind of smell in the opening. The way the benzoin and the tobacco react with this beautiful cognac note that's in here. It's a monster performer. It's extremely high quality. It's one of the best fragrances out there in the niche market. It really is. It's a star, a darling for the cold months in the winter. This is one that I urge you, get a decant, get a sample if you're not ready to commit to a full bottle, because yes, they are not cheap. They're $2.90 retail. Vinba Fragrances, which is always linked down below, in the $2.30 range. Better price than retail, but still a pretty penny. Worth the money once you get your hands on it and smell it, but I urge you, sample first, because not everybody likes everything, but I'm telling you, it's going to be difficult to not really enjoy when you get your hands on Creation E and give it a sniff. One of the best boozy tobacco fragrances money can buy, and definitely one of the few fragrances that you need this winter. And in my opinion, one of the only niche fragrances you even need to look at. Creation E, Royale Parfums.
But guys, that is my 5 picks for winter fragrances. Again, I'd like to say thank you to Ross for having me on our channel. I really appreciate you inviting me on here. It's a long time coming. A lot of you guys know me from the TLTT Review Lounge. A lot of you guys don't know who I am, but I do hope that brought you some valuable information that I can continue to do so. But Ross, thank you. And like I always say, keep it gent, and I'll see you next time.
Matt, the pleasure was all mine having you on the channel, my friend. I'm so glad we finally did this. That, like you said, this was very long overdue. I'm shocked our channels went this long without us collaborating on my channel together. We actually have done a video together on Matt's channel. I'll put that right here if you guys haven't checked that out. It was one of our fall fragrance videos that we did not too long ago. Like I said earlier in the video, make sure you go over to Matt's channel and give him a subscribe if you haven't already. I have his channel linked down below. Check out some of his content. If you see something you like, make sure to give him a follow. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback. I love hearing from you guys. How many of these do you have already? You're doing pretty good if you got a few of them, because these are all fantastic fragrances. We picked 5 each, no price limit, no cheapie. I mean, it's a little bit of everything. Cheapie's designer niche. It's just 5 of my favorites, 5 of his favorites, and what we believe are the only 10 you need for this winter. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of these and you give them a spray now, we're very confident you might thank us later. Have a good one, guys.